Alrighty, hello everybody, James Cards FC here. Thanks for clicking on today's video. Coming back with another one of the subscriber or fan favorites here. I'm not sure if I should call my followers fans. It sounds kind of weird to be a fan, I guess, of a random American that sits in his apartment and makes videos about soccer cards. We'll go ahead and go with, I guess, subscribers or supporters. But I think it's a favorite of some of the people that view this channel, and it's one of my favorite videos to do. It is the Fireside chat for the end of the month, and this month was February of 2023. These are more loose, just sort of whatever's on the top of my mind, what I've been thinking about, ideas for videos that don't really make full videos but just want to cover shortly. So without further ado, we'll get into my thoughts for this month that just happened in February and a few of the things that are going on with myself and my journey in the market as well. So the topics we'll be covering today are the first one, which is that the market is moving. The second, I want to do a quick segment on shill bidding. I've noticed quite a lot of it recently, and I want to show you guys how I avoid getting shill bid and how I recognize which auctions are being shilled and paid for and things like that. So I just wanted to do a video on that in case you're not fully aware of what's going on with shill bidding or how to detect it. I want to do a quick brief on that. I wanted to go over the PWCC weekly auction that just ended on Sunday night. They always end on Sunday nights, but I was going to go through the PWCC weekly, not in the depth that Alec United States Men's National Team Soccer Cards goes over in it, but just some things that caught my eye. I really thought I was going to end up purchasing something, but it ended up going a little bit too high for my liking, so we'll go ahead and go over that. I don't purchase things very often slabbed on PWCC. I do it very occasionally, maybe once every quarter or so. So I thought I was going to get something last week, didn't end up doing it, and I'll go ahead and talk about my thoughts on that. And then I'll go ahead and round this out with a segment of what I've been buying recently. I went ahead and I filmed a separate portion of this Fireside chat where I show you guys the most recent cards that I've bought, both raw and that I'll be sending for grading, and I'll talk to you guys through my thought process on buying them and everything associated with the buying process of those cards. So stay tuned for that towards the end of this video. I think it's a 20-minute segment on its own, so feel free to sit back, relax. If you're driving your car, feel free to keep doing that and keep paying attention to the road. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's sort of unscripted, unfiltered, and we'll just get through it. So without any further delay, let's talk about the market. It really feels like the market is moving. It depends on the player, of course. When you talk about guys like Ronaldo or Messi or Neymar or even up to Mbappe, those sorts of guys are still in more of the lull period where it's post-World Cup. A bunch of supply hit the market during the World Cup, and supply continues to hit the market after the World Cup, and there's just not as many market participants as we've had in the past. So prices for all those guys are still precipitously, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but they continue to drop and drip a little bit more as we go through. There are certain Mbappe cards that have done pretty well over the past few months, as well as certain Messi cards, and I don't think many Ronaldo cards, but there are spots that are showing life in those markets, but a lot of the stuff is still dripping down a little bit, but nothing as drastic as we've seen. For example, I was looking at Ronaldo's 2017 Kaboom for some random reason, and I noticed that in August in PSA 9 it sold for $3,000, and it now currently sells for like $750. So that's just an example of what's happened over the past few months in the soccer card market. We had a ton of supply hit the market during the World Cup that really forced prices down, and now we're trying to find out where that floor is. It doesn't seem like we're there quite yet on some of the key guys that aren't playing out of their mind right now, but perhaps that's something we'll see in the very near future. The market is also moving in a positive direction, specifically for guys like Victor Osimhen, as you see here in the video's sort of background image, as well as Folarin Balogun. Those are probably the two hottest names on the market for the month of February. Victor Osimhen obviously has been one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in the world over the past year, playing for Napoli, who are, I think, 20 points clear at the top of Serie A, and they're starting to look like one of the top 3 or 4 favorites to win the Champions League itself. So he is getting a big, well-deserved price increase. Not sure why it's randomly coming now when he's been this elite for the past few months, but all of a sudden, since he scored in the Champions League, his cards have 2 or 3x'd over the past couple weeks or so. So a lot of people are now putting money into Victor Osimhen and moving his market up. The key with him is he's not in a lot of rookie sets. He has this Optic rookie from Chronicles. He has a couple other Chronicles rookies. He has Mosaic Serie A rookies, and he has Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the most obvious one. He has Merlin Chrome rookies. So he's only in those 3 sets for his rookie year, which is 2020. So there's not a lot of cards for him on the market. Not a lot of numbered cards hit the market for him just because they're really tough to hit in these sets. For example, in Serie A Mosaic, the highest numbered parallel is a blue out of 99. So the odds of you getting one even lower than that are even lower. So it's hard for those to come to market when there's just not a lot of them. Not a lot of people opened 2020 Serie A product, so those just don't come to market in general. The Optic cards have parallels, but I think the lowest number parallel of that is like 49 or something crazy. He also has Merlin, so the highest number of Merlin is 250. You see the numbered Merlin stuff a little bit more, but it is really starting to move. I know his Mosaic in... I'm going to get the parallel names mixed up here, but his Mosaic numbered out of 88 recently sold for like $250, and that before this most recent run of form was probably like a $100 card. His Optic purple parallel, which is unnumbered, sold recently for like $50 or $60 when that was a $20 to $30 card not too long ago. So yeah, his market's really moving, and I think it's obvious as to why it's really moving. Now, if you're buying Victor Osimhen right now, especially slabbed stuff, I think you need to be extremely careful. There's going to be more people like myself rushing to grade his cards now that he is playing so well. It makes sense to now grade all of his cards and try and cash in on the people that want his slabs. So there will be more slabs coming to market. So be really careful if you're trying to buy Victor Osimhen slabs. If you're interested in buying Victor Osimhen for some sort of a transfer thing coming up, I would probably wait until after they get knocked out of the Champions League. And if they win the Champions League, whatever, you missed the window. But the odds of that happening are still pretty low. And I think a lot of people are now baking in some deep Champions League success into his prices. So I would be avoiding his market for now, just because I think there's a lot of FOMO speculation going on. And when there's a lot of FOMO speculation going on, it's usually not the best time to jump in. The time to jump in on Victor Osimhen's market was prior to all this. The window's kind of gone now, so you're going to have to wait for things to calm back down if you want to enter at a later point. On a long-term view of Victor Osimhen, I don't think there's any sort of a play there. He's already 24 or 25 years old. He might get a transfer to a team in the Premier League, or he might just stay at Napoli. Either of those situations, he's just too old to really generate long-term stats. He plays for Nigeria, so it's not like he's going to have any World Cup success. I don't see anything long-term on Osimhen. He's more of one of these quick flip modern guys, so keep that in mind, and I would be definitely avoiding his cards right now. And I say that as somebody that is now grading his cards, and I know that's probably not doing myself a ton of favors, but yeah, I would personally be avoiding buying his cards at this exact moment. The window to buy was a few weeks to a few months ago. The window is now closed. Just wait for the next guy, and there will be another guy. So, speaking of other guys, we also have the hopeful United States men's national team striker Folarin Balogun. He plays in League One in France, and he is currently either first or second in the league in goals scored. And he scored a hat trick, I believe, at the beginning of the month of February, and that sent his prices exploding 3 or 4x over their previous lows. People sort of forgot about him. He was an Arsenal Academy player. He went on loan to a lower division in England last season, and now he's on loan in France this season. He had been scoring goals, but he didn't have this hat-trick explosion performance that got a lot of social media buzz until now. So that sent his cards rocketing up to a new high. And so, yeah, same thing with him and Osimhen. Now is probably not the time to be buying Folarin Balogun. That didn't stop me from FOMOing into buying a low-ish number parallel of his, just because I FOMO'd if he ends up being something for the United States men's national team. I wanted to have something that was somewhat low number, just because that's what I collect is United States men's national team players. So I would want something like that for my PC, so I FOMO'd into buying a lower numbered one. I had some colored Balogun from before, nothing crazy. I think the lowest one I had was out of 99, and I picked up an out of 75 or something like that. So just wanted to make sure, in the very unlikely case that he ends up being a star for the United States men's national team, I want it to be covered. I worry that Balogun has gotten too good at this point for the United States men's national team. I think, personally, I have no information on this, but I think it makes sense for him to go ahead and commit to England. I don't think he'll do it until around the Euros. I think he'll stay as like a national free agent, so to speak, until then. In my opinion, it doesn't make any sense for him to commit to the United States in the upcoming March window, and I don't think he'll be called up by England in the March window, so I think he'll just stay an international free agent until around the Euros and then go ahead and commit to England. Again, all speculation, and if that does happen, I think that is a negative for his card market because a lot of people are pricing in the fact that he will be the United States men's national team striker for 2026, and once you start putting that sort of narrative on a guy, you can see what happens to prices. See Ricardo Pepi last year, see Malik Tillman for a week last year. Anybody who is thought of as being the United States men's national team striker for 2026, their cards explode, and then if that doesn't happen, they start cratering pretty quickly. So just keep that in mind. I would avoid Balogun and I would avoid Osimhen right now. These are two examples of guys that just pop up randomly in the ultramodern market. That it's a live market, so things like this can happen. I would personally just move on to the next guy and try to make a play that is similar in some capacity to those. But yeah, both these guys also have in common they have very few rookie cards. Balogun is only in the Revolution and Panini Prism Premier League set, so he's only in 2 sets. Osimhen's only in 3. This really helps your cards explode because if there's less supply on the market and a huge demand surge comes, obviously the supply and demand scales get a little out of whack and prices can explode. So those are just a couple of examples I wanted to give of how the market is moving. I would advise, well, I can't give financial advice, I guess, but I personally wouldn't be participating in their markets right now. Again, the window to buy those guys was a few months ago. The window to get out is now, and the window to buy back in is probably a few months from now when people forget and move on to the next shiny object. So with all that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the shill bidding segment. So I'll go ahead and I'll take away this background, and I want to take you guys to eBay to look at some sales, and then Terapeak to look at some real sales that have been happening in the Messi market to get you guys an example of how I notice shill bidding. Okay, so this is the example of shill bidding that I became aware of. This is the 2022 Panini Prism Lionel Messi World Cup International Ink signature short print card. It's a sticker autographed card from the 2020 Prism World Cup set, and it has a really, really weird sales history if you look at it on eBay. So I'll scroll through here. You can see that the most recent auctions all have cleared $6,000, but the one before that, which is a different parallel, I think, only sold for $2,000. 5,000, 3,000, 6,000, 6,000, 6,000, 3,200, 3,000. So yeah, they're really wide net of sales. It's pinging between 3,000 and 6,000, and that shouldn't really make a lot of sense considering these cards are all pretty much exactly the same. They're non-numbered and they're just a sticker autograph from World Cup Prism. So the way that I would know that these are being shill bid, besides the obvious price discrepancy that is going crazy, is you can go to Terapeak here. This is a free tool on eBay, I think, to sellers. So if you've sold things on eBay, then you can use this. And I assume everybody that watches my channel has sold things on eBay before, but if you haven't, sell some things on eBay so that you can get access to this tool, because it is going to be a lifesaver for you. I just went ahead and did the same search for Messi International Ink, and I filtered it by auctions only. And we'll scroll down here, and these down here are the confirmed sales that have been paid for. So if it shows in Terapeak, the vast majority of the time it means it has been paid for. So you'll notice that all those 6,000 sales disappear, and this one that sold for $2,300 did get paid for on February 16th. This one that sold for $3,000 got paid for on February 16th. This one down here for $4,400, which seems to be the actual real high price, sold for that price in December, and there was also one in December for around $4,000, and then prior to that it was cheaper. But these are the real sales. We'll go back here just for comparison's sake, and you can see that all of these ones are shill bid and fake sales, so these are not the real price of this card. Again, please use Terapeak so you don't get caught paying a ridiculous comp for a card that's actually only worth $2,000 or $3,000, when even though eBay sales history is showing you it sold for $5,000 or $6,000, these are the real prices, and these are the ones that you should go buy. So shill bidding discussion out of the way, let's move on to PWCC, and we'll talk about some things that I noticed. Spoiler alert, these are the cards that I favorited in this PWCC weekly auction, and you can see sort of the kinds of cards that I look at on PWCC. So first one was this Maradona PSA 1 rookie. I really want to get one, but the problem with this one was it has, I don't even have to click on it. You can see right there, there's this ugly stain right on the middle of his kit right there. So I was obviously going to avoid it. Sold for $1,500. That's like half of the previous PSA 1 sale, but obviously that stain on it is going to damage the price. So didn't want to purchase it just for that reason, but I am looking for one of those to add to my collection at some point. Was just watching this one because I really like this sticker, but I don't really want to buy something that is that high pop. And even though it's an SGC 8, there's probably quite a few of these in high grade out there. And so I was just watching it because it's an iconic sticker, and I just wanted to see what the market was at for that. 71 Biz, this was a PSA 7, strong sale at 4,500. They've been selling around that price for the past few months since the World Cup happened. If you look at Messi's 71 Biz prices, they dropped to an all-time bottom since the soccer card market exploded in November or early December of 2022 because people didn't think Argentina was going to win the World Cup at that point, and there was a mass of them on the market. So the prices really dropped, and they've picked back up since he won the World Cup to where they were in October and September of that year. So his market has been pretty stable on these Mega Cracks rookies. Same with this one right here. This is a pretty stable price for the Barca in a PSA 10. I was looking at these Neymars just to see where the Neymar market was at. I actually really wanted to try and go for this one. This is the highest grade of a PSA 8 for this version of the card. I think there's a BGS 9.5 of this one that to this day is the most expensive Neymar card ever sold. I think it sold for like $19,000 in 2021. But the PSA 8 is the highest grade for this action shot. Probably my preferred Neymar rookie, and I wanted to go for it because a couple of these had actually hit the market recently, so I was wondering if there was going to be a dip in price, and there was not. It sold for almost $2,800, which is actually higher than the previous two sales a month ago. So yeah, I would have liked to get this just because these are not easy to find in high grade, and I'm a big Neymar fan and a Neymar collector, so I would love to have one, but just too high for my liking at this point. And then these I was just watching for just to watch. Then we also have this Pele Flawless. I just watched Flawless cards, had no interest in bidding on it, but was just curious to see what it would end for. This one's really cool. It sold for $5,000. If you're in the market for a high-end modern Messi, I don't think you do much better than this one. Jersey numbered, gem mint condition, gold, first select, has him in his Argentina kit. A lot of things to really like about this card. You got to hold it for a really long time because if you put this back on the market in, say, a couple months, you're probably going to get crushed. But yeah, if you're into Messi modern stuff for the long term, I don't think you can do much better than that. This is the one I really thought I was going to get. This is a 2016 Select Tie-Dye Christian Pulisic Rookie Patch Auto. Card is graded PSA 10. The auto is graded PSA 10. It is numbered out of 15, and it is a pop 1 of 1 in such condition. So the reason I wanted to go for this is because the last time this card sold was in 2021, and at that point it had sold for $10,000. So I know 2021 was crazy and it was a crazy peak, but when I was bidding on this, it was at around the $1,000 mark, and I was thinking to myself, wow, if I could get this for 90% off of what it previously sold for, that would be an absolute steal. But it ended up going for around $2,000, so I didn't want to pay that much for just a Christian Pulisic. What really pushed me over the edge in terms of not going for this was seeing that the Maradona rookie in PSA 1 sold for $1,500, so I wasn't about to drop $2,000 on a Pulisic rookie when I could have just bought a Maradona rookie instead. So I didn't end up getting it, but I was definitely trying for this one because I think now is a pretty good time to be buying Pulisic. If you're like, my plan with this would not have been to simply try and flip it in a few months. I would have been holding this at least until 2025/2026 because this is probably one of his better rookies. But yeah, just couldn't pull the trigger on it. So it was kind of sad, but again, didn't want to spend more than a Maradona rookie amount of money for this Christian Pulisic rookie. Then I just like watching 2017 Chrome just to see where those are at. This Gio Reyna rookie is down so far from its peak. This was like a few $1,000 card, and now it's $400 or so. So interesting. If you like Gio Reyna, I think this is probably the best card you can get. Obviously, there's numbered variations, but of the sets that you can get for Reyna, I think this is the best one. And the fact that they're so far down, maybe it's a buy low point, but Reyna's market is weird in terms of we don't really know what's going on with him. He's not playing at Dortmund. He had the whole fallout with the United States men's national team, so who knows what his future looks like, but I don't think it's any debate as to who the most potentially talented United States men's national team player is. It's Giovanni Reyna. It's just a matter of if he can get over his shortcomings when it comes to personality, his conflicts with the coaching staff, as well as the fact that he seems to always be injured. So if he can get through all that and the management likes him and he stays healthy, I think the sky's the limit for him in terms of being with the United States men's national team. Obviously, I don't think he's a Ballon d'Or level player, but does he have a chance to be the best United States men's national team player in 2026? I would say he's probably the odds-on favorite to be that. Then I was watching this Holland Speckle rookie because I picked up a raw one recently. Just wanted to know what a PSA 9 was going for. A couple of Pedries that were really nice that I wanted to watch. I think this sale is ridiculous for $4,000. Just the amount of things that you can buy in the $4,000 range. This is pretty crazy to me. Pedri has so many different rookie cards. This one seems really risky, but I understand that this is probably one of his best cards, but just not for me. Then yeah, a bunch of Reina rookies. This is probably one of Camavinga's best cards, so look at the price difference here. This is a better card than this is. So, for example, Pedri has this same Sapphire card that Camavinga does, and that card for Pedri is better than this Stadium Club card for Pedri. So, think about it like this is one of Camavinga's best cards, and it's a better card for Camavinga than this card is for Pedri, and it sold for this much less. So, I don't know. That's just how I look at those sort of things. Definitely wasn't going to bid on it. Was just curious on what people thought of it. And then this Holland is down a ton in PSA 10 condition. This is PSA 9-10, so the card got a PSA 9 grade and the auto got a 10 grade. But if this was a PSA 10 where the card got a 10 and the auto got a 10, those used to sell for like $20,000-$30,000. And now a PSA 9 is only selling for $4,000. That's kind of scary. That puts a 10 at about $10,000. So that's what, a 50 to 60 to 70% drop in price over a year's time. That's kind of scary, but yeah, Holland market is pretty down. I talk about this more when I talk about the cards that I'm grading, but it's a really weird time in the Holland market. He had that huge explosion at the start of the year when he was scoring a hat trick every single game, but now there's weird narratives out there like Man City is better off without him. He doesn't fit the club, all this kind of nonsense. So we'll see what happens. If he scores a bunch of goals in the Champions League knockout rounds, obviously all of that is going to be forgiven and Holland Mania will start again. But if they get bounced to the Champions League and he doesn't perform well over the next few weeks, it could be a pretty scary time for his market, at least in the short term. So, with all that out of the way, I will go ahead and move to the final part of the Fireside chat where I go ahead and I walk you through what I've been buying recently, raw, and stuff that I'll be sending to grade. So I'll go ahead and shift to that video. That will conclude today's Fireside chat. So at the end of that, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. Join the Discord link in the description to talk amongst fellow collectors, speculators, investors, all those words about the people that are in this market. Discord link down below. I'm probably most active there on social. And also feel free to follow me on Instagram and DM me there. But thanks again so much for watching and enjoy the final part of the Fireside chat. And hello everybody, not sure if this is either the second part or the first part of this February, what do I call these things? Fireside chat videos. I was gonna go ahead, my goodness, I'm messing up all over the place. I was gonna go ahead and do a review of sort of what I've been buying in the market, and I guess as I go through a bunch of these cards, I'll probably share my opinions on prices I paid for them, I guess, if I can remember, why I bought them, my reasoning behind it, what I think about the market for the different cards and players in here. So yeah, just thought this would be interesting to go through since I don't normally talk about my daily activity in the market. It's more long-term or theory-based or some really complicated videos, but today I'll just go ahead and go over some of the stuff that I have been buying recently. So this stack right here on the left is stuff that I'm going to be sending to be consigned raw, either because they're not going to get the grades I want, which means they'll be a 9 or below. So I don't think any of these cards in this stack have a chance of getting a PSA 10, or I just don't think it's going to be worth grading them for the $19 fee that PSA is at right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and send them off and get them consigned raw. And then this stack right here is cards or stickers that I think are either going to have a chance of getting a PSA 10 or they're worth the $19 grading fee. So we'll go through some of those. I'll go ahead and start with the raw pile here. We have this 2007 Copa America Navarrete Messi sticker. First Copa America for Messi. really weird. I've tried to get this graded now twice with PSA, and they've rejected it both times, which in my opinion doesn't make any sense. They do grade the Navarrete sticker, just not this version. This version is a foil silver version. They grade the version that has the background pattern of stars or rainbow colored dots. So if you have seen these in slabs, they do grade the other versions of the sticker, just not this one. Not sure why. This one, I'm not sure if you can read it there, is the Portuguese or Brazilian version, and so for whatever reason, they just don't grade it, so I'll go ahead and sell that raw, and we'll move on from there. I have this Giovanni Reyna numbered 7 out of 99, so jersey number there, which is really cool if you're into that sort of thing, but can't grade it because it does have some edge issues here. So just bought this because it was jersey numbered and I wanted to grade it, but it's probably going to get a PSA 8 or 9, not going to be able to gem, so just going to sell that one raw. Really nice Giovanni Reyna here. Was hoping I could get a gem on it, but I could not. Still really like his market, but if I can't grade it and get a PSA 10, I'll just go ahead and move off of it. I have this Holland. I've graded a bunch of these Holland rookies recently. For some reason, I've been able to find a lot of raw ones, which is kind of weird given how long it's been since his rookie cards came out, but I've found a few of these. I graded 2 of them recently and got 2 PSA 10s, so I figured I would pick up any other raws that I could find and hope for similar luck, but this one has some surface scratching and print lines, so I think it's more of a PSA 9, and don't really want to grade it if it's just going to get a PSA 9 at the current prices that I had to pay for it, plus the grading fee. His market is in a kind of a weird spot right now. I'll take a second to talk about Erling Haaland. He had that huge run-up, obviously, at the start of the season when he was scoring a hat-trick in every single game, it felt like, and ever since then, his market's sort of just been trending down and down and down, and now there's narratives going out there about, oh, is Man City better without Haaland? Is he derailing the team? And those sorts of things. So with that, his cards have come down quite a bit, but obviously, him and Mbappe are still the 2 guys that are the keys, at least right now, to the future of the soccer card market, and I don't anticipate that to change anytime soon. Another guy that might end up being a key player for the soccer card market is Florian Balogun. He either leads the French league in goals or is second in goals now to Mbappe, I believe. So yeah, the key thing for him is he could play for the United States men's national team, of course, but if he doesn't, I don't think his market's going to be all that great, considering England has a bunch of strikers that are better than him, and he could commit there and not get as many minutes. But if he is the U.S. men's national team striker, he would obviously get a big bump. He's already gotten a huge bump over the past few weeks. After he had the game where he scored the hat trick, his cards jumped up like 300% or so. So I had bought a bunch of his colored stuff before they had really popped off because I buy U.S. men's national team prospect stuff all the time, so I just happen to have a few of his already. This one I'm not going to grade because I think the centering on it was really bad, top to bottom, or there was something on the back I didn't like, something like that. I didn't think it could gem, so just going to go ahead and ship that off and take my win on it. Same thing with this blue right here. I'm into it a long time ago for very cheap. Centering left to right is pretty bad in my opinion. It can't get a PSA 10, so I'll just go ahead and take my slight wins on that and sell it raw. Neymar, 2017 Chrome. The 2017 Chrome set in general, I know the market's really down, but people still seem to really like this set. Certain players like Mohamed Salah and Luka Modric, their colors sell for really high numbers in comparison to other stuff, but anyways, yeah, people really like this set. I really like this set. I don't have too much of it. I picked up this Neymar blue, but unfortunately, it is not going to be able to get a PSA 10, so I'll just go ahead and move that one raw. Picked up a bunch of Malik Tillman. If you're thinking about doing this in sort of like an investment sort of way, do not do what I'm doing with the United States men's national team prospects. Super high risk and probably not a lot of reward, but I'm an addict when it comes to U.S. men's national team stuff, and so I picked up a lot of Malik Tillman. He's having a really good season for Rangers right now in the Scottish Premiership, but he hasn't really featured for Bayern Munich or the United States men's national team yet, so in pretty low on these. I bought, I think, 7 of his autos, and unfortunately these 3 are PSA 9s at best, so with how cheap his cards are and how expensive it still is to grade, $19, not really worth grading them if they can't gem, so I'll go ahead and move those raw. Then we have Victor Osimhen. This guy is probably the hottest guy in the soccer market right now. His cards are up 2 or 3x over the past few weeks as people, for some reason, have finally seen that he's probably the best striker in the world right now. Not sure why it took everybody so long, but Champions League is going, and when Champions League goes, people get excited. And so since Napoli looks like they're one of the stronger teams this season, people are really starting to take to Osimhen. I'm into this one for like really cheap because I have a few of his numbered stuff from before he got really expensive, and unfortunately this one's going to be a PSA 9 at best. So I'll just go ahead and move that raw and not pay the $19 grading fee there. Kylian Mbappe, it's always good if you can find just any nice looking Kylian Mbappe because his PSA 10 premium is so nice. I had 3 of these next two, 1 and 2. I don't think either of these can gem, so I'm just going to move them raw and move on to the next thing. Leo Messi numbered cards. If you saw my video about Leo Messi and his numbered cards, you know he has a ton of them, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to pick them up and try and grade them because that would be silly. Because if the market wants them, I will give the market what it wants. Unfortunately, the market will not want these because they're not going to be PSA 10s, so I'll go ahead and move them raw. Still nice looking cards, but they just won't gem, so I don't want to take a $19 grading fee just to get back some PSA 9s. Just not going to be worth it when you run out the math on those. Then we have this Cristiano Ronaldo First Year Finest in green. Really nice looking card, but again, it's probably going to get a PSA 9, so no real point in grading it and wasting the extra fee and time on that. Ronaldo's market is very, very down right now. I was looking at his 2017 Kaboom for some reason. I forget why, but his 2017 Kaboom was like $3,000 6 or 7 months ago, and now it's $750. So his market in general is down like 40, 50, 60% over the past 6 months. Not too surprising given how bad his narrative's gotten, but obviously, if you're into Ronaldo for the super long run, I don't think it's the worst time in the world to buy, but I still think his market has a ways to go down unless something drastically changes in the market. And I guess that's something else I can talk about just while I'm going through these is a lot of people are talking about Fanatics right now and how much advertising they're going to bring to the market and how they're going to be so good for the market. They're going to bring in all these new people. I wouldn't take that as a sure thing. I think it's possible that they bring in a lot of new people, and obviously we would root for that, but I would not be paying for cards in above comps or anything like that specifically because we think Fanatics is going to bring a lot of attention to the market. There's this Bukayo Saka right here. This is a numbered prism out of 99. Somewhat of a nice color match with the purple and the red there for Arsenal. This one is not going to gem. I think the centering or something like that. There's something about this that I saw that it means it's not going to get a PSA 10. So I'll just go ahead and move it raw. Saka's market is way up on the year. But of course, if it's not going to gem, don't really want to pay the $19 grading fee. Then we have Christopher Nkunku. This guy has not played much this season due to his injury, but last season he was probably the best player in the Bundesliga, and he's really electric to watch when he is healthy. He's going to go to Chelsea. No idea what he's going to look like there because that club is such a mess right now, but I don't think now's the worst time to be buying his stuff. Problem with this one is it does have a surface scratch that I didn't like, so it's probably a PSA 9, and I'm not going to waste the $19 to figure out that that's a 9 and take a loss on it. So go ahead and move it raw. Then we have this Giovanni Reina. This is a museum. As you can see right there, the top left corner, not in great shape. Obviously not going to gem, so going to go ahead and move that one raw. Gio's been really good for Dortmund when he gets minutes, but it seems like he might be injured again or just out of favor given all the other forward options that they have performing there. So not the best time for him, but when he does see the field, he does seem to perform. So key to the United States men's national team future, he is. And then I had this basketball card that was just sitting in my closet, so I figured I would move that as well. Alrighty, so all those, can't grade them. They're probably PSA 9s or PSA 8s, and so they'll just go ahead and go off on consignment. Then we'll move into the stack that I have bought recently that I think I can grade. I believe there's 17 cards here. 16 soccer and then 1 basketball, as you saw on the bottom, but we'll go ahead and go through these. I can't submit them yet because I need to submit, I think it's 25 minimum to get the lowest price at PSA, which is currently $19, And also at time of recording, this is February 27th, and it's possible that on March 1st, they give you some new grading specials, and the grading price might drop to $15 for certain categories or for everything or something like that. So I have to wait for two reasons. One, because I don't have enough cards to grade, and two, because they might be dropping their prices. So it wouldn't make any sense to send right this second when I can just wait a couple extra days to see what happens. But in any event, I'll be grading these at some point in the near future. We have this red Leo Messi World Cup. This is the second easiest of the World Cup colored parallels for stickers to get. I found this one on Comsty that was listed really cheap. I think it was like $45 or something, and I just instantly bought it as soon as I saw it get listed. So happy to have that one. I also picked up this blue. These blues are by far the easiest of the World Cup sticker parallels to get. You can find hundreds of them on eBay. Maybe not hundreds, but at least 100 of them on eBay right now. The problem is they are extremely difficult to grade in terms of centering and white chipping, edge wear, bending, all that sort of stuff that comes with stickers. So these would be really tough grades, but I thought this one was in good enough condition to go ahead and try and pick it up and grade it. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do with that one. Then I have this Messi rookie. This is the easiest Messi rookie to grade because it is all white, so it's hard to see surface scratches, and it's also hard to see edge wear, hard to see corner wear because the whole thing is white. So grade's easier than all the other ones, but it is the autograph instead of the autographo, which means it is the Catalan version or the more rare version. So I picked this up for a good price raw, and we'll see what it go ahead and grades. Always worth grading the Messi rookies just to see what happens with those. Then we have some more Messis. This is the Revolution Stargazing. This is the non-numbered parallel that is called Fractal. Pretty much all the parallels of Revolution sort of look the same. So this one is a non-numbered Fractal, and the next one that we will see next to it is a numbered, I think this is called Manga. Let's go ahead and check. It is. It's called Manga. Numbered out of 49. Kind of looks very similar. But nice looking card for Messi. Picked these both up for a decent price. I think it was around $100 total for both, maybe $125, something like that. Picked them up in Asia, so it gets hard to remember, but it is in a spreadsheet somewhere. I just don't have the number at the top of my head right now. Always good to be grading numbered Messi stuff, at least in this market right now, if you can find them in gem condition. Then this is the third Kylian Mbappe of the Kylian Mbappes that I showed earlier. It's a non-numbered red, just a really nice looking red and blue parallel mosaic for Mbappe. So figured I would go ahead and grade that considering it was in gem mint condition. Or at least it's what I think is gem mint condition according to James Cards FC. So I'll go ahead and try my luck with that one. Then we have some more Victor Osimhen's. I have one blue mosaic out of 99, two blue mosaics out of 99, and then a peacock mosaic that is the short print from the Choice version of the set, I believe. Although when this was released, I don't know if Choice was a thing or not. I think peacocks were just part of the normal base hobby set, so not 100% sure, but they are short print parallels that are not numbered. People really seem to like them, so looks actually really nice with the Napoli kit there. So definitely want to get this graded right now because they are super hot in the market. I picked these up a week or two before his most recent performance, so they were expensive, but they were not as expensive as they are currently. So definitely excited to be getting those graded. I think all three have a shot at gemming. One of the blues might be a PSA 9, but I think they all have a decent shot at getting PSA 10s, and obviously, given his performance, that would be huge. But of course, with a guy like Victor Osimhen, if you're buying him right now, you need Napoli to keep winning, and the minute they lose, his prices are going to drop. So you are really taking a gamble with a modern player like Osimhen. He has very few cards, very few slabs, so the market is going to get flooded with them at some point, and by that point, they're probably going to be out of the Champions League. So yeah, dangerous time in his market right now, but I'm going to go ahead and grade those and hopefully get them back before they are knocked out of the Champions League, and who knows, maybe they will even win the Champions League. Then, staying with the peacocks, I have this Giovanni Reyna peacock for the United States men's national team from the most recent World Cup mosaic set. This one looks really nice. I'm not sure if it shows up on camera. Well, it'll show up on camera. I'm not sure if anybody can pick it up, though. This is off-center, sort of on it's diagonally printed, barely. You can see based on the lettering down here that it was printed diagonal just a little bit, so it's off center. Everything else is really good. We'll see if PSA dings me for it being a little bit diagonal printed. You can even see it here with the way the text runs, but yeah, a little off center there, but would be really nice to get a gem on that one. Everything else in the card, at least in my opinion, was really clean. Another finest numbered Messi. Again, I don't really like the Messi numbered market in terms of buying for the long term, but I have no problem picking these up raw and trying to grade them if I think they can gem. And this is one of the ones that I thought I could gem. This is from 2020 Finest, and it's pretty nice. The pink and the Barcelona colors look nice in my opinion. This one of the ones I don't think will gem, but was worth grading anyways. This is the gold first Merlin Chrome for Lionel Messi out of 50. The back centering is, it's a little off, but PSA's been pretty lenient on the back centering on this product in particular. Out of 50, the problem with it is it does have a few print lines on the front, so we'll see if PSA is lenient with those or not, but definitely worth at least trying to get the PSA 9 or 10 on that one. Then we have this Erling Haaland that is super, super clean, but it might not be well centered enough for a PSA 10. As you can see, the left is thinner than the right border there, so it's a little bit off center. And a little bit more troubling in my opinion is, I'll go ahead and try and pick this up. There's a couple dots right here on the back of the card. I think it was something that happened with the way it was printed or slid into packs. I tried to wipe this off, can't wipe it off, so I think it's gonna be a PSA 9, but we'll see if PSA overlooks that and just gives me a soft one with a 10 there. But the rest of the card looks really, really good. Unfortunately, there is that spot up there. Then another Folarin Balogun. This is one of the ones I actually FOMO'd into after that 3-goal performance. I couldn't help myself. I wanted to get a nice one. Since I didn't really have a low-ish numbered one yet, I wanted to get one for Balogun. This one is out of 75. As you can see, the bottom right-hand corner has a little bit of a little ding on it right there. So probably not going to get the PSA 10, but just wanted to have a nice lower numbered Balogun, since in case he does play for the US men's national team, I will really, really want one of these in my collection at the very least. So yeah, wanted to have a lower numbered one for him. Definitely not the best investment, quote unquote, because I FOMO'd into that. Then we have a Haaland that you don't probably see too much. This is the Speckle Chrome rookie variation or parallel, whatever you want to call it. These are non-numbered, but they are shorter print than I think the base and the refractor, but go ahead and double check my work on that. Thought I got this for a decent price. I got it actually in a lot with the other non-speckle one that you saw. The non-speckle was definitely a PSA 9. This one is probably a PSA 9, but if PSA ignores some print lines, perhaps it can sneak a 10. That's what happened with me last time on the Hollands I submitted. They had a few print lines, but PSA let me gem them, so hopefully they are so kind with that one as well. Last soccer card here. Oh man, I don't want to jinx myself, but I really, really think this should get a Gem Mint 10. This is the Kylian Mbappe 2018 Optic with the French kit, purple velocity, numbered out of 125. On the back, it's a little bit off center, left to right on the back, but on the front, it seems to be pretty well centered, definitely within PSA's guidelines. I really think this should gem, but I don't want to jinx myself, so I'll say it's a PSA 9 or 10, but that is the card I am probably the most excited about in this order. These look really nice, and obviously with the French kit, Mbappe, just really nice looking early card numbered for him, so we'll be excited to get that back once, obviously, I have enough cards to send off. And then at the very bottom, I have this Shaq. The only reason I ended up with this is because I had a search for 2014 Prism, and for some reason this one showed up even though I was looking for soccer ones, but I thought it looked really nice, and it's numbered out of 99, color match, full color background, so yeah, it was just really nice looking, and I think it could gem, so I was going to go ahead and get that graded even though it's not a soccer card, not what I would normally buy, but I just thought it looked really cool. So that will go ahead and conclude all the cards that I have bought over the past few weeks. Let me just drop those all over the place. Let me know what you think about that, and we'll move on to the next part of the Fireside Chat.